Hi, and welcome to another episode of The Well-Appointed Mystic. Today I'm going to do a bit more of a tarot-focused deep dive into my monthly planning setup and sort of how that went for August and what my plans are for September. So I do a video for my other channel called Well-Appointed Desk, where I kind of go into detail about what kind of washi tape I'm using and the pens and that kind of thing. But for you guys, I will focus a little bit more on sort of the content and how that sort of played out, how that worked out for me. So for the month of August, I always pick out a tarot deck and an oracle to focus on for the month. And for this month, my initial choices, knowing that I was traveling quite a bit. So for August, I was traveling to the DC pen show at the beginning of the month and then the San Francisco pen show at the end of the month. And in both cases, I'm gone for about 5 days at a time. So that's almost half of the month that I'm living out of a suitcase in a hotel room, often sharing a room with someone who is not necessarily tarot inclined. So if I'm doing any kind of card readings or anything, I tend to do them at night or first thing in the morning, sort of by myself, trying not to freak anybody else out. You know the story. So I knew that there was a possibility that going into August, whatever decks I picked either needed to be very friendly or very portable or a little of both. And then I was also teaching classes at the San Francisco Pen Show I was teaching an ink swatching class, but then I also taught a class on sigils. So I was kind of inspired to maybe use the Talisman Oracle for August to sort of stay in that sort of sigil talisman mind space. So originally I'd picked out the Tarot de Carlotides as my sort of daily deck, which is one of my favorite decks, and the Talisman deck. And then about mid-month, I purchased the Bee Tarot, and much to my surprise, I absolutely fell in love with it, and that was all I wanted to use, and that was all the cards that I wanted to pull. So mid-month, I kind of switched what I was doing, which kind of went along with my theme, which was I did a very Leo theme in my planner, lots of sunflowers and warm colors and everything through the whole planner for the month of August. So honestly, the Bee Tarot is like a perfect color match. It's the same vibe. It just felt like everything really kind of went together. So from that perspective, it was a really good match, and it did kind of fit. Carlotides was not quite aesthetically the same match, but it seemed like it emotionally was going to help. And in the end, I stuck with the Bee Tarot, and for the San Francisco Pen Show, I was so busy the whole time, I didn't even pull any cards. So what I ended up doing while I was there, I packed the mini Everyday Witch Tarot in I stuck it in a little tin, thinking if I needed to pull a card or whatever, do a reading. But I did a reading the day I left, and I did one when I got back. So the time in the middle was so busy, I just didn't have an opportunity to do it. So anyway, what I ended up using for the month of August was the Bee Tarot and the Seasons of the Witch Lammas Oracle, and they are a really lovely pairing. I'm going to move the journal out of the way for a minute. We can talk about September in a second, and I'll move the book out of the way too. But I don't know if anyone else has paired these two. I'm sure people have, but everything about them kind of really goes well together. I was pulling one card per day from each deck, unless I felt compelled to do more than that. But these are just, the colors really go together. Even though the art style, this is much more sort of simplistic and it has a little naivete, and this is much more refined and detailed. I think that they really go well together. They come from kind of the same place sort of spiritually. Of all of the Seasons of the Witch decks, some of them are pretty dark. This one is not. This one has a lot of lightness and sort of joyousness to it. I say that and the cemetery card comes up, but you get what I'm saying. Like it very much focuses on more of the positive side of it. Like a positive transformation, recognizing your gifts, So if you haven't gotten the Lammas Oracle, I really recommend it. I mean, I wouldn't say that it's like a soft, huggy deck, but it does tend to be a little bit on the softer side, and pairs really nicely because I honestly think that the B Tarot can be a little, not harsh, but a little heavy. It definitely doesn't cut corners emotionally. So I just think that this is a really great pairing and has ended up working out really well for me, which I really enjoy because I love getting to the end of the month and not wanting to put a deck away. And that happened to me last month in July when I was working with the Mermaid Tarot, that I got to the end of the month and I didn't want to stop using the decks and kind of had to force myself to move to something else, in an effort to help sort of expand my horizons a little bit. And I don't know if it's absolutely necessary. I think that I certainly could have stuck with a deck for another month, and that would not have been a bad thing. But I've experienced the B Tarot for the better part of a month, and I'm really glad that I did it. So I'm going to dip in now to my September and see if that's all in frame. No, it's not. I have to move all this stuff out of the way a little bit. These just make sure that I'm not out of frame. That's my plan anyway. So for September, I went with more of an academia theme. I've been like, I'm not back to school, but I always have back to school in my heart in September, and just spending time in libraries and books and, you know, new pencils and all that kind of stuff. So I wanted something that felt a little bibliophilia, I guess is the best way to describe it. And so I put this collage together, made a calendar. This is a B6 size printable that if you are a patron of the Well-Appointed Desk, you can get a free download. Not to pitch my other website, but in case anybody is curious, that's how that works. And then I just themed all, like my page layouts, because I do a page a day and I theme them around sort of the same thing. So a little bit of sunflowers and mushrooms, but also some cute little stamps, and all of the details for all of this stuff will be available on the other video. So I'll include a link to the other video, as well as that will have links to all the stuff that's listed. Actually, it'll probably have a link to my website, which will have all the stuff listed. So it'll be like a little rabbit trail. You'll enjoy it. It'll be fun. So anyway, so that's where I'm going with my planner, and that helped to inspire what I wanted to do in terms of my tarot. And I'm actually kind of amused because it's the third month that I have chosen a Llewellyn deck, and one of their new like linen finish decks. Although I guess the mermaid is not linen, but boy, wouldn't we all be excited if they released a linen version. So I'm using, is it Tarot of the Witch's Garden? Is that how you, because I always get confused because the title of the book is Secrets of the Witch's Garden. So I always think that that's the title of the deck, but I think it's just Tarot of the Witch's Garden. So anyway, and then I'm pairing it this month with, and anyone who saw my video earlier where I absolutely ridiculed this deck can laugh and point at me, but I'm using the Green Witch's Oracle deck to go with it, because I felt like this one, they look beautiful together, but also I felt like it had the right kind of emotional match. It's a little sort of early fall, getting into witchy season, but not, I always do this backwards. But so I'm going to give this deck a try. A lot of people have said that they really like it. And I did a couple just test pulls, and I feel like this is probably a pretty good match. So I just think this might work. Although I might have to trim these borders off because they're freaking enormous. But seeds, new ideas, hope, and open-mindedness with the Eight of Cups. Okay, fine. I take back everything I said about about this Oracle deck. But I just think it's a good pairing, and not completely because Witch's Garden and Green Witch is in the title, but they do seem to really have a similar aesthetic, and they just seem to work together. I mean, the owl in the tree trunk and the hermit, the hedge, potential, boundaries, and indecision, along with the Ace of Cups. And is this not the most beautiful Ace of Cups you have ever seen? The artwork is just, it blows my mind. This crow or raven is just so beautiful. Anyway, sorry, I got distracted. This is the day of distractions. But yeah, I think these will really work well together. Presence and self-awareness with the Three of Pentacles. Look at how cute he is. This puts a little humor to this, which I think is always kind of can be a bit of a, for me anyway, a heavy card, but maybe it's just me. So this is where I'm going. I'll keep flipping. It's fun. You guys like seeing this, right? So cooperation, community, and the Six of Pentacles. It takes the Six of Pentacles into a different place than where it normally sits, where sometimes it can feel a little stingy. Stability and the Six of Wands. Gratitude and releasing burdens and the Nine of Pentacles. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right, fine. I take back everything I said about this deck. So this is where I've landed for my month of September. We'll be working with the Green Witch Oracle deck and the Tarot of the Witch's Garden. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I need to tell you guys about all of this. I think that's kind of it. Oh, I know what I forgot. I knew there was something else. I've also got some sort of reading and some book learning that I plan to be doing this month. I would like to focus more of my attention on astrology. So I picked a couple of books up from the library. These are probably not the world's best astrology books, but they were what they had in my library, and they looked pretty good. Just this one, I think, had the signs divided up into, so like they have little worksheets and stuff, but then they had the signs broken up to like sun in your 4th house and what that means. You know, the sun in Pisces, and then it gives you all this information, which is pretty common, but I kind of like the way that it was laid out. And then, you know, it goes into detail. Creativity style by 5th house sign. Your creativity is marked by, and then where it sits. So, I mean, they're not super deep, like thousands of pages, but I feel like this is a good starter for somebody who doesn't feel really well versed in astrology. So they've got rising signs, they've got some of the houses, moon signs, and then what it means when they're in each of your houses. So it doesn't go super deep, like I said, but I think it'll be kind of fun. And I started looking at it before I left town, so hopefully I can spend some time with it this month. And then the other one was a beginner's guide to astrology by Lisa Butterworth. And this one, again, man, if you give me graphics, I'm there for it. But just, it kind of just had all of this information really quick and easy to grasp. And then they had a whole section here that included crystals and essential oils for each of the signs, which I really liked because they're both things that I want to work with more and don't always. So like here's Cancer's crystals and essential oils that might. So I just thought it was kind of cute. So I'm going to give this one a little whirl. I don't imagine that these are going to take a ton of time to review, but I thought they would be fun. And then my only other projects that are tarot related are, I picked up 2 tarot and witchery books. This is Tarot Every Which Way by Lilith Dorsey. Unlock the Power of the Cards for Spellcraft and Magic. And this just looked like, you know, the match of my 2 favorite things. So just how to use, and it looks to me like Mostly this is covering, like, here's Judgment on page 171. So it looks like most of the work is around the major arcana. Ollie's here to say hello. Hi, Ollie. Hi, buddy. And then there's just shorter sections on doing work with the individual minor arcana suits. So it just, how am I going to pass something like this up? So this is a Llewellyn book and retails for about $20. And then I had to get Anthony Dawn's new Tarot Grimoire, which is Spreads and Spells for a Magical Life, with a foreword by Benamel Wen. So it's like all the people that we watch on YouTube. So this one also has spells and spreads for the working with the tarot and with some witchy elements. So I'm definitely looking forward to jumping into this. And, you know, anytime someone describes a book as a grimoire and an opportunity for me to start a new journal or planner, I'm in. So it looks like this one has a little bit more detail for each of the individual minor arcana suits. So it'll be interesting to compare the two books, which kind of have a similar vibe, but kind of maybe approach it in a slightly different way. This one has an intro with Silver Ravenwolf. So yeah, all big names. So I've got some astrology homework to do, and I have some tarot homework to do. And so I'm pretty excited about September. Is anybody else excited or have any plans to do any sort of deep study or deep research as we are getting into the school season? We should take all of ourselves back to school in our own little ways. So I'm going to tarot and astrology school this month. What are you doing? Thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. Bye.